to Not Suitable for Adults. It's a podcast where grown-ups watch the shows the kids watch. I'm Rich.
Have to watch the shows that kids watch.
Yes.
We don't watch it just because we want to.
Sure.
We have to.
Okay. There's some shows that I think I would watch that maybe we'll review later.
Really?
There's a couple of kids shows that I'm like, if she chooses them, I'm like, oh, no, I have to watch this.
Okay. We'll get to those, I guess.
But we're not talking about them today.
Nope.
Okay, we kind of skipped the introductions. I'm Rich.
Sorry, I'm Natalie.
And we're going to talk about some things. Natalie has something very important to talk about
So
right
important.
at the top.
It's so important.
Go, it's all yours.
Well, last week we had a whole segment about a little show called Chip and Potato. And Rich talked about how season 2 was coming out. Y'all, we've seen little bits of season 2. Do you want to say your big revelation about season 2?
Yeah, so at the end of season 1, spoilers for...
everything we say ever on this show is a spoiler.
I get a kick out of giving a spoiler alert for a children's show. Here's spoilers for the end of season 1 and for season 2. There's a cliffhanger at the end of season 1. We find out that Mama Pig is pregnant.
Mama Pug,
excuse me, is pregnant with a little puglet. Mm-hmm. And so towards the beginning of season 2, the baby's born. And then the grand tradition of naming pug children after potato products.
Yes.
The baby's name is Tot. And it's very cute, actually, the way that comes about. But it's Tot. So potato is part of it. Chip, Spud, Tot. That's all in there.
And should we talk about, so I guess I was gone during part of the day that you watched part of season 2 with Cora.
Okay.
And I came back and you were like, the baby was born. Mm-hmm. I was like,
finally.
I was like, oh really? And you were like, and its name was, and I was like, stop. Let me guess.
Yeah.
And did I go through every form of potato?
Except tater tots.
Except for tater tots. And I didn't hit tot until I was like, okay, just tell me. And you were like, tot. And I was like, curses.
Yeah.
Like, I was so mad. I went through twice baked potatoes before I hit tot. And it made me so angry. I was like, okay, little fry. No, it's not fry. Okay.
This is fun. We didn't talk about all of them. So here's a couple of names that I think actually would be cute. Like if you had to name your child after a potato product.
Yes.
There's some... For a second, I was thinking julienne was one of them, but that's not a preparation of potatoes.
Oh, but that's cute. I understand it, though.
Yeah. What I was actually thinking of is au gratin. And that's not a good name for a baby.
Oh, my goodness.
So.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh, but I have an update.
News.
I have big news on Chip and Potato. Because, so as I'm sitting here throughout the day, I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm with Cora. I also nanny my nephew through the day, who is 7 months old. So as I'm sitting and Cora's watching TV and Nolan's just kind of chilling, playing with, toys or sleeping or whatnot, I'm usually sitting on the couch listening to a podcast or looking at my social media on my phone. So as I looked up at the TV as Cora's watching Chip and Potato today.
By the way, I don't know what this is.
No, Rich doesn't know
I'm learning
this.
about this for the first time.
I looked up and I saw 2 unknown characters that I didn't know. Sorry, I just hit my mic.
Start over.
2 characters I did not know actually interacting with Potato.
What?
Yes. So here's what I do, knowing that I'm going to have to do this podcast later today.
It's you have a duty.
I let Cora continue watching her show on the big TV, is what she calls it, while I put my headphones in, turn on Netflix on my phone, find the episode that she's watching of Chip and Potato, and go backwards to find out what happened.
Okay, tell me.
Okay.
Can't wait.
So the Dazzles are leaving Welcome Walkie, which is the name of the town, by the way.
Okay.
The name of the town is Welcome Walkie.
I thought it was Welcome Walk. I thought that was the name of their street.
Sorry. Maybe it's Welcome Walk.
Yeah.
They're doing the Welcome Walkie is the name of the song. But maybe it's Welcome Walk. Yes. Okay. So the name of the town is Welcome Walk, which I think is okay.
Sure.
It's a super good name of a town, I guess. So the Dazzles are 2 giraffes, and they look like they're maybe like in retired years, and they are leaving Welcome Walk to go on just like traveling adventures.
Wait, so one more thing, and I don't mean to keep correcting you about this show that doesn't matter, but are not the Dazzles zebras?
What did I just say?
Giraffes.
Oh, shoot. Yes, they are zebras. I thought I said zebras.
You said giraffes twice, and I was over here going, oh no, I have to correct and show that I know so much about the show.
I thought I said zebras.
You said
I'm
giraffes.
sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. They are zebras named the Dazzles.
And they're leaving.
And they're leaving Welcome Walk. And Chip wants to say goodbye to them. Blah, 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 blah. She says goodbye. As she leaves, Potato jumps out of her little snuggly hoodie that we're supposed to, she turns into her snuggly when she's being just a stuffed animal, I guess. She jumps out and she starts like crying little tears. And Chip says, "Oh, do you want to say goodbye to the Dazzles?"
No.
And Potato says, and she doesn't say,
Right,
she just goes,
yeah.
So Chip climbs back up. They're in their car already. Chip climbs up into their car and says, "One more person wants to say goodbye to you." And first off, I was like, oh, we're going to hear a pronoun for Potato.
I've heard it. There is a pronoun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In this season, I've heard it several times.
Yeah.
It's pronoun is her.
Yeah.
She, her. She wants to say goodbye to you. And Potato comes up. She takes off her hoodie and goes, like, here's me. I'm Potato. I'm real. And the Dazzles completely react to her and go like, oh my goodness, you have a real mouse in your pocket. And Chip's like, you gotta keep this secret from me. Everybody thinks she's just my snuggly Potato, but really she's my real life mouse friend.
Oh my gosh.
And the Dazzles go like, of course we're going to keep your secret. We're leaving for Hawaii or whatever. It doesn't matter to us anymore. They just drive off. But, so, Potato is a real mouse.
Officially.
In
canon.
But I find this out. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm making notes on my little notepad to go like, I've got to tell Rich about this. As I look up again, Nico, the best panda friend,
Oh no.
is talking to Potato.
No.
Potato and Chip and Nico are the what did they say? The Panda Pug Potato Friends.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, is there more? You look like...
No. Wait, let me check my notes. Nope, that's it.
Okay. So, you know what I love about this? The creators of Chip and Potato had the same thought we had.
Right. Is potato real?
They finished season 1 and they went, oh no. We've introduced this character who is pointless and might not be real. We have to do something about that. And they have now shifted the plot to make Potato a officially real mouse that other people know about.
Yes, and now Nico, who is Chip's best friend, Nico the panda.
The Patanda.
The Patanda. Because they say Puggy, Panda, Potato, Pals, or something like that. And I'm like, that is a big alliteration for me. So, just hear ye, hear ye. Potato's a real mouse. People. Characters other than Chip have actually reacted to her presence.
Wow.
There it is. You heard it here first, folks. Breaking.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing.
Is it?
No, it's not.
This is what our lives are.
So here's what we're going to do. Because we've talked for 11 minutes
about
Chip and Potato. We're going to change the schedule up a little bit here. We have a little bit of an outline. We're going to skip ahead to the question of the day.
Okay, cool.
So last week, Natalie posed a question that we gave a little bit of thought to. We had a lively debate around. Our friends who listen to the podcast, who thank you for listening to the podcast if you're listening to us.
Thanks, guys.
Decided Natalie was right. And I was wrong. It's not Prince Hans. Prince Hans is not the evilest Disney villain.
No.
So here's a new one. Here's a new question. And this week, it's a bit broader. The question is, who is the best animal sidekick in a children's movie?
Which you posed to me this time around.
Right. So I've pitched this question to Natalie. She has a notebook, and I have not.
You've got your brain.
Well, sure.
That's all the notebook you need, babe.
Thanks. So I'm gonna throw it to you first.
Yeah, I was gonna say you go first.
Oh, wait. You're throwing it to me. I was gonna throw it to you.
I thought you were throwing your idea to me first. No, it was my question last week, so I went first. So it's your question this week, so you go first.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought about this a lot, and the problem with this for me is, unlike Natalie, I don't have a passionate first thing that jumps into my head. It's like, I know without doubt who the best animal sidekick is. And at first I decided to narrow the question down because I started realizing that if I just said who's the best animal sidekick, that opens the door for like Chewbacca.
Yep.
Who is the best animal sidekick.
Yep.
But we're talking about in a children's movie. I think we would say that Star Wars is suitable for adults.
Right. We're talking about not suitable for adults right now.
We need a children's show. So maybe this just speaks to my love for this particular movie.
Oh, I'm ready.
The one that I keep coming back to, as much as I want to find a better example, the one I keep coming back to, actually two that might be the best animal sidekicks are from the movie Aladdin.
Really?
Yeah.
You always go to Aladdin.
It's a pretty good example. It has a lot of really good examples of characters, like very broad or no, not broad, but very extreme examples.
I just don't go automatically to Aladdin like you do.
Yeah. But two, I think two of the
Yeah,
best animal
okay.
sidekicks. One is Abu, of course, because Abu's good because he interacts a lot with with the main character. So he interacts a lot with Aladdin. He's not just kind of there and then Aladdin sends him to do things.
Right.
They're partners, but Abu's the sidekick. But actually, the more I thought about it today, the more I thought the actual best animal sidekick is probably Iago.
Okay. The bad sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because he's bad, and depending on your opinion of Disney canon, if you accept The Return of Jafar as Disney canon,
I don't know Aladdin as well as you do.
Iago turns, spoilers for Return of Jafar.
Everything is spoilers. You
I'm
don't have
always
to
gonna
say
announce it.
spoilers about everything.
I'm always going to announce spoilers.
Okay.
Iago turns good. Iago joins the team.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes him less interesting to me.
No, I think he's great. And so the reason that he's better than Abu is the stuff I said. He gets to really interact with his human counterpart. And it doesn't... It's because he's a parrot, and it's because maybe there's a magical element, but it's not like he's just in a movie where they're all animals and he's a sidekick, which made me like almost go to like Zootopia and movies like that, but that felt like that's not quite what I was thinking the question was. So like I didn't say best sidekick to a human. So, you know.
But no, I get it. Yeah.
So, but Iago gets to interact very much. He does a good job at what he's supposed to do. You might argue that he's smarter than Jafar. Like, he's a good sidekick. And that's my vote, Iago.
Okay.
Now, who's the right answer?
So, I have a few came to my mind, actually. Number one is absolutely 100% Doug the dog from the movie Up.
Oh, man.
Say I'm right.
Oh.
Doug, I was hiding under your porch because I love you.
Yeah. Dang it.
And he tries his best, man. He
Always.
sacrifices himself. He does everything he can for who he calls his master. And he's just very loyal and really good.
Yeah, he's good. And he does the thing that I was talking about too. He can communicate. He can do all these things. I do think that there's maybe a question about the subjectivity of what it means to be the best.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Doug, as much as I love him, he's very good. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't like do a good job. You know what I mean?
He does his best, which is a good job. He's a good dog.
He's a very good boy. Mm-hmm. Man, it's a good answer. It's hard for me to argue. I'm trying to like justify in my head that maybe that would be different, but that's a very good answer.
I know. And my other answers were good too. I had a few, actually. Doug was my first.
Who were your honorable mentions, just real quick?
Honorable mentions were Pascal and Maximus, both from Tangled,
Yeah?
and Mushu from Aladdin.
Nope.
Who wouldn't you wouldn't exactly
Mulan.
call him, oh, I'm sorry, Mulan. Man. I'm very tongue-tied tonight. Mushu from Mulan, who I guess you wouldn't really call, I guess he's an animal sidekick.
Animal sidekick.
He's a dragon.
I considered Mushu, actually.
Did you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So those were my kind of few.
Those are good answers. Listeners, you decide. You tell us what you think.
Tell us who
Which
is
of
right.
Natalie's choices were the best? Okay, so we're going to move on to the next segment. We're going to discuss a new show this week. And Natalie's going to do this for us. We're going to talk about a very fun show.
Yeah. This week I wanted to talk about Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Because it's it seems to bring a lot of controversy. How do they say it?
Controversy.
Controversy.
I don't know if they ever say that on Peppa Pig.
In some families, it seems that some parents are totally for Peppa and some are really against Peppa.
And there's maybe good reasons.
Sure. So Peppa Pig is a British TV show that is usually airs on Nick Jr. We actually watch it usually just on YouTube. There's little snippets of shows that Cora likes to watch on YouTube that we watch.
Put out by the official Peppa Pig channel.
Yes. So first off, when you're watching Peppa Pig, you love the accents. The accents are what makes Peppa Pig. They're all British. They all have very good accents. We love it.
All distinct British accents. So like not just a single canned, like there's regional British accents, which I like.
Oh, okay. I don't know enough about British accents to know that. They just all have good accents to me. But there's a couple things I want to point out about Peppa that as a mom, as a parent, as an adult, that sticks out to me. First off, their names are, Mommy Pig and Daddy Pig are known in the whole community as Mommy Pig and Daddy Pig.
Right.
They don't have, and it seems like this is a kind of quite a trend with children's television.
Right.
There goes our water.
Yeah.
That all the parents are called just like Mommy something or Daddy something. But the names were interesting to me because Peppa's friends, so first off we have Peppa Pig.
Right.
And then we have friends like Susie Sheep and Danny Dog and Rebecca Rabbit and Wendy Wolf. What are you noticing about those names?
The alliteration is strong.
The alliteration's strong. And then we have George Pig. It's like they couldn't pick another P name. I just think it's so funny.
It could have been Peter, right?
Peter, Paul,
Perry,
any other P name, but they picked George. So I love that. Is that there's just this one kid with the wrong name.
Yeah.
I love that.
And George is kind of a silly little brother anyway. He's
Sure.
And maybe you're going to talk about this. I don't know your notes, but to me, the thing I was about to say about George, which is true of every child on this show, is that they're the worst.
They're all the worst.
Yeah.
Every one of them is the worst. I wasn't going to mention how much the worse they are, so thank you for bringing that up.
I'm happy to have assisted.
Sure thing. Another thing I wanted to mention that I love about Peppa Pig is Miss Rabbit.
Right.
Miss Rabbit is probably my favorite character in Peppa Pig. Because if you go to a store, you go to an amusement park, you go to a carnival, you go to the dentist, you go to any sort of job or business, Miss Rabbit is working there. Mm-hmm. She's the clerk. She's the cashier. She's the carnival ride attendant. She is the dental assistant. She is everything.
So maybe we can talk about this because I have a theory.
That Miss Rabbit is multiple people?
That Miss Rabbit is multiple people.
I've been wondering that as well because is this supposed to be an adult joke about rabbits multiplying.
I think it is.
Okay.
And here is my one and only piece of evidence. I saw one of the clips that Cora was watching on YouTube one day, and they go to the moon. And in the episode where they go to the moon, everyone's very surprised, and somehow, like, one of the grandpa characters is like, "This is normal," and they're all on the moon. When they go to the moon, there's a shop on the moon run by Miss Rabbit. And they go, I think Peppa goes, "Miss Rabbit, I didn't know you worked on the moon." And that person goes like, "I don't know you."
But there's an episode where Miss Rabbit's sister, another, like, Mrs. Rabbit, I'm not sure, but they're together, and Miss Rabbit gets hurt, and Peppa has to find people to stand in for Miss Rabbit at all of her jobs.
Oh.
Like,
no, now
like,
this is the thing I have to
Daddy
pay
Pig,
attention
you
to.
have to check people out at the grocery store.
Man.
You also have to help at the ice cream stand and stuff like that. I really think there's one Miss Rabbit, and she does everything.
But what about the Miss Rabbit on the moon?
Okay, she can be an alien. I don't care. On Earth, Miss Rabbit is one person.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, I am. So, there's something interesting that I wanted to talk about that I found in my research today. So I did research.
Natalie did a lot of work on this today.
No.
No, not work.
I looked at Wikipedia, which is my go-to research for everything.
Scholarly source.
Yes. Wikipedia says in 2012, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation had a problem with the episode Mr. Skinny Legs.
Okay.
Mr. Skinny Legs is the spider they find in their house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's the spider they find in their house. And Mommy Pig doesn't like the spider.
Hates the spiders.
Wants to get rid of it.
Like we all do.
And Peppa and George and Daddy Pig are like, "It's fine. Spiders are our friends. They eat other insects, blah, 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 blah."
And Australia was like, wrong.
Exactly. Australia was like, "You do not befriend the spiders of our country because they will eat you."
Right.
They had it, like, restricted
That's very funny.
in Australia so that kids wouldn't go out and befriend the spiders of their country.
That's so funny.
Right. Mr. Skinny Legs isn't for everyone, folks.
No, that's true. And I think we all agree about that. We all hate spiders. And if you don't, you're wrong.
I mean, it's true.
So that's funny. So you're telling me, surprising, the creators of Peppa Pig didn't do a good job of thinking about the educational value of the show that they're producing.
I think they were thinking more of the let's be friends to all.
Gotcha.
Thing.
I think they just don't care about the educational value of their show. And the reason I think that is because of what I was talking about before, where all the kids are the worst.
So that's a lot of controversy that parents have about Peppa Pig, is that it seems like a lot of the kids are very rebellious or disrespectful or something to their parents. Like, Peppa's always talking about how her daddy is too big to do this thing, and we all know Daddy Pig is a little bit overweight, or how she's just a little bit too smart for her parents or something like that. A lot of controversy. A lot of parents don't care for Peppa Pig in that way.
I think I wouldn't put myself so far in that camp that I'm like, we can never watch Peppa Pig, because let's face it, Cora watches Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
And will continue to because she likes the characters. And they're funny. It's kind of an interesting artistic style. So like it's fun to watch. So that's all fine. I think for me, it's some of that. It's some of the like kids versus adults thing, which is my big problem with like almost any kids show. But I would also say it's like the example I'm thinking of is actually from the storybook. So Cora has a storybook with like 5-minute Peppa Pig stories in it, and there's one where they're playing soccer and they all play. The girls want to play tennis, but there's too many kids now, and so now they're going to play boys versus girls soccer, and the boys do a good job. The girls do not a good job at first. And then they like kind of start to come back, but then there's some controversy about how the goal was scored. Long story short, Daddy Pig walks in and goes, "Hey, forget this. You're tied, and the next team that scores wins." And
Yeah.
and to me that like, and then it ends in a very shady way, like the boys accidentally score on the wrong goal, and like, well, that's it. The girls win. And it just sort of, and I guess that maybe that's the kind of thing a parent would do. Like, you kids shut up. Next point wins.
Just be quiet, drink your juice boxes, and be happy.
But I don't know. There's something about that bugs me. I don't know. We'll talk more about Peppa Pig.
Yeah, there's some funny, like, adult moments in it that I think are just catered for the adults that are watching that I love. And then every time they do something, they all fall over and laugh. And I mean fall onto the ground. Yeah. The ground rumbles and they laugh.
Yeah, and the narrator, whatever the thing is, it's like, Peppa loves ice cream.
Everyone
loves ice cream, and they're all laying on the ground laughing, and then that's the end of the episode. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. We'll talk more about Peppa Pig, I'm sure, because it's deep in the children's show zeitgeist.
It's deep.
So this has been not suitable for adults. It's been a lot of fun making these episodes. Thank you to those of you who have supported us so far. If you would like to support this podcast, please check us out. We're now on iTunes, Google Play Music. We should be in the Google Podcast app soon. We're also on Stitcher and Spotify. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel just has the audio feed. There's no video taken of us because you don't want to watch that. So go over there. If you especially are on iTunes, make sure you leave us a review. Give us those sweet 5 stars. And if you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Like our Facebook page, we're on all the social media. Basically, pretty much every social media is ours now. We own it. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Not For Adults Cast. That's not the number 4 Adults Cast. You can add us to talk to us. You can hashtag that to talk about us. So thank you for listening. As I said before, we can't wait to bring more of these episodes to you. Now listen, it's getting late. Now that the kids are in bed, you just go back in there. You put on a TV show because you're the boss.
So watch whatever you want.
Bye.
Bye.